You ever have one of those days where you think, I'll just pop out and have a look around the shops and then come back £135 lighter and think, what just happened? Yep, that was me yesterday, but I've learnt something about myself. The bad news is that I've got a dress that looks awful, a very itchy jumper, and I've now got a date with a returns desk again. I didn't sleep very well last night. Well, actually, I struggled to get off to sleep. I think it was the early hours of the morning before I actually fell asleep. And of course, that made me tired. And when I'm tired, I do things where I don't really think about it. I have been so good lately. No impulse buys, no new plants, no new candles. Well, I say no new plants. I didn't buy this. My sister came for lunch and she said, you told me that you killed your ferns. She said, so I bought you a new one. But as I didn't pay for it, I'm going to accept it into my collection. Yeah, I've been really good lately. I've tried so hard not to go on Amazon, on any of the online shops at all. I'm trying to have a one in, one out policy, and actually trying to take that a little bit further, as in give to charity and don't buy anything to replace it. But I have got to get a handle on, I've got to get control over my spending habits, because my budget that I've just redone this morning is not looking great. With the way that the energy prices, etc., have gone up, I've had to cut back even more, and I'm sure that everybody has to do this. And I've done all the usual things. I've stopped the TV subscriptions. I've stopped buying so much what I call rubbish or unnecessary things, and the budget just about breaks even. But this uncontrollable splurge urge has got to be kept under control. So I need to delve into the reasons why I do this. I have a party coming up. It's a joint party for my granddaughter's 18th and my son-in-law's 50th. And I have loads of stuff in the wardrobes, absolutely loads of stuff. Skirts, dresses, what you name it, I've got it. And it does fit. But I thought when I went over to Sainsbury's that I would just have a quick look and see what they've got. When my sister had come for lunch, we'd sat there and chatted about the two collection, the two range, and she had on a really lovely jumper. And so, of course, that was the little thing at the back of my mind. So when I finished work early on Friday afternoon, I thought I'd just nip over there and have a quick look round, not intending to buy anything, but very clearly, subconsciously was intending to buy something. And that's going to be the difficult bit to get over. I had a look around, and I have to admit there wasn't a huge amount there, but there were a couple of things that I really liked. In fact, I liked the pattern on this dress, but it was a bit what I would call frilly for me. It's not something I would usually wear, but it did have my size, and that's unusual. So I thought, it's lovely colours. I'll give it a go. I can always bring it back again. But why do I do this to myself? Honestly, I don't know. I picked up a jumper and I did my usual, can I wear this or will it be too itchy test, which is running it around my neck. And I can usually tell whether the jumper's going to be itchy or not from doing that. And I bought a sweatshirt, and I don't really need a sweatshirt. I have loads of them. I mean, this is all I live in, sweatshirt and leggings. I don't need to put anything on anything smart on any longer, because I work from home. I run my business from home, so I don't have an office to go to. So everything is ease of wear stuff. Because I'm 61, I can do it. I can wear whatever I like. So I don't need any more sweatshirts. And yet, for some unknown reason, I put one in the basket. So there I was at the checkout. I had my Nectar card ready because some of them had a special offer on them, I think. I'd also put a bottle of Bailey's in the trolley, and that was on offer from Nectar as well. So I don't even know why I did. I don't really drink anymore. I don't. It's not something I really want. It brings me up in flush around my cheeks, so I don't really enjoy it now any longer. So when I got home, I looked at my purchases to try on the dress and the jumper and the sweatshirt, and I didn't realise I'd actually also accidentally put in some profiteroles. And do you know what? I kind of remember walking around the food bit, but I wouldn't need anything, so I didn't really want to do that. But for some reason, because I was heading over to the Baileys section, I think I subconsciously I just popped down the aisle, and I don't really have much of a memory of it. So it shows me that was a complete impulse buy. So how am I going to get round these ridiculous impulse shopping trips, or even the impulse buying if I have to go somewhere where I need to buy something? So why did I do it? Well, I know myself now, and I know that when I'm tired, I have less resistance to my little gremlins that tell me to go shopping. Luckily, I have been really good lately. So I suppose my strength on one side was quite resolute, but my little gremlin on the other side was having his little natter to me. So I didn't go all out mad. And I think possibly if there had been other things at Sainsbury's chew selection that had appealed to me, I might have bought an awful lot more. I can honestly say the shopping hit does give me the dopamine hit. Is that how you say it? Dopamine. And it's nice when you can do that. But it doesn't last very long, does it? By the time I got home and I tried on this dress and it didn't fit. In fact, it made me look like a sack of potatoes with frills on it. It was awful. Beautiful material. Probably a really nice dress on somebody tall and skinny, but not on me, dumpy 61-year-old. And the dopamine hit it had gone. And now I'm left with the knowledge that I need to go back to Sainsbury's to return it. I've got to go to I've got an appointment to go to my hairdresser next week. So as that is halfway to Sainsbury's, I'm going to do it on Wednesday. But I do know I've got until the end of January to do it, so long as I don't lose the receipt. And that reminds me, I've got to dig it out and put it by the dress. However, what I should have done is maybe gone out for a walk, got some fresh air, got out of the flat, change of scenery and all that, and actually done myself the world of good that way and got a dopamine hit from the exercise rather than the shopping trip. But that's a lesson learned, and I'm not going to fall for that one again. I am not going to go to Sainsbury's. But where did this complicated relationship with money come from? Well, for me, I remember growing up, my parents didn't have a great deal of money. So although we had what we needed, we didn't have luxuries and we didn't have any extras. And I do remember a couple of arguments that my parents, I think the only thing they argued about was money, if I'm honest with you. So there wasn't really much talk about money besides the overheard arguments between the parents. However, I'm probably just like a load of families, probably the majority of families. I wasn't taught how to deal with money. And I think that's possibly the start of my, I want to say downfall then, but it's not really a downfall, is it? But I think that's where it originally stems from. I wasn't given any guidance from my parents. In fact, the only thing that I can remember from my childhood where I ever got spoken to about money was we lived in a small town in North Devon called Braunton, and not far from there is Ilfracombe, which is a seaside town, or seaside harbour. And it has a whole row of amusements along the seafront. They're still there, but when I was a kid, they were massive. They were all along the side there and into the town a little bit. And we used to gather on a Sunday afternoon for a walk around. And part of this was going to the amusement arcade. And we were given 2p's in a plastic pot, which is similar to what used to be the old margarine pots. And we were told that once, that was it. I can't even remember how much. It probably was 10p's worth of 2p's or something like that, pennies. But my dad said to us, and I'll never forget this, and I think this is one of the reasons why I've never been a gambler. He said, this is your stake. This is what you can afford to lose. If you win anything, he said, put it in your back pocket and don't spend it. So we were guided or told by my dad about gambling. So, of course, we very happily put our pennies and our 2p's into the machine. But anything that we won, all of us put it in our back pocket. So more often than not, we came away from Ilfracombe in profit from money that we had been given in Ilfracombe. So, you know, for us kids, it was great. We had, you know, we have some extra coppers to take home and put in our piggy banks. But apart from that, as I say, that was the only guidance I was given as a kid. But I was never taught to save. And I think habits like that are hard to learn if it's not been ingrained into your memory or your mind as a child. So it's taken me a long, long time to learn about saving and budgets. It's always as if I've been on a lucky streak and I've always had enough money to do what I need to do. But now it's getting to the stage where, because of the energy and the inflation, that I'm having to really penny pinch, I guess. It's very new to me and I don't like it very much. So now I am looking at my retirement options, and obviously I've done a video about that. I know that I am going to be hard pressed for money when I retire, if and when I retire. If I'm going to have to retire at some point, but you know, if I retire at 70, that's when things are going to be really, really tight. So I know that between now and then I can have no debts whatsoever, and I've got to be able to live within my means. So now I've got to start practicing what I've been preaching and start doing that. So I don't know whether any of you will have picked up on this, but yes, I am a bookkeeper by profession. And yes, I am terrible with my own money, or have been known to be terrible with my own money. But you would be surprised about how many accountants and bookkeepers are bad with their own money. It's strange that we seem to deal with everybody's all day long, but when it comes down to ours, it's almost like we can't be bothered to open the spreadsheets again. I don't know what it is, but yeah. But now I've decided that I am a priority in my life as well as my clients. So I am now constantly and consistently reviewing my cash flow and profit and loss for my business, and looking at the budgets and cash flow for me personally. My little slip up at Sainsbury's is not going to be allowed to upset my plans going forward now. So if you ever come home from a shopping trip, especially at Sainsbury's, with a load of stuff that you never intended to buy, then you're not alone, very clearly. I think there must be loads of us out there that do this on a regular basis, but me, I for one, have got to stop. Thank you for supporting me, and if you've got a hype left over, it would be great if you could use it. If not, could you like the video and give me a comment down below, because as they all say, it does help with the algorithm. And of course, there is my membership if you're interested in that. So take care, have a really good shopping week, don't buy anything that you shouldn't, and I'll see you in the next one. You take care, bye bye.